Hello, hello, hello. Talk about 11th hour, but we're here and we're gonna go for it. Um, where are we? That's not true. Oh, so anytime I go and refer to it, if I thingy, it okay, that's fine. Oh, that's annoying. I'm gonna have to fix that. But cool. We are learning recursion, which is a function calling itself. Um, alright, step 7. So, okay, so we started to log the event that we're seeing. Because I feel like I've done this. Alright, if you open the browser console and type in a number input, you will see events logged to the browser. Yes, we were seeing that. So let's open the browser. I think it was console. So if I then say 12, you can see, yeah, these are now being logged nicely. Yeah, cool. You can see helpful properties like type. Type and target. And target tells us that, when you enter something in here, it's going into an element on the it's going into an input element in the HTML that has the ID number input and the class number input, which is quite cool. I didn't know you could do that. Now we want to perform an action when the enter key is pressed. The most helpful property is key. So where's key? Key here is 2, which is just that key, okay. Which tells you the string value of the key that was pressed. Oh, right. So that because we are the event element that we're passing in, so our input listener, we pass in E, which is the event element that's associated with this method, and that tells us which key was actually pressed, and we have that there. Oh, cool, very cool, actually. It tells you the string value of the key that's pressed. So remove console log from the callback function and add an if statement that checks if E key is equal to the string enter. Leave the body of it if empty. Since you have similar functions, they both have that same string. Beautiful. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. That's what we're effectively saying. We're just checking for if that's going to be empty. If the key of E is equal to the string enter, then do this. Okay, cool. Call the check user input function. We've got a check user input function, which currently just logs the number input value. Yeah, cool. Okay. Cool. So let's see. I just want to see these. Oh, we're not logging E anymore. So the E still gets created, but when we then hit enter is when it logs it to the console, which is quite cool because we are listening for the enter. And so when we hit enter, the key of the button that was just pressed down is actually enter, and so that we can do that. Cool. Now that your convert button and number input are listening for clicks and enter key presses, it's time to complete the check user input function. Right now it's just logging to the console. It would be helpful to alert users if they don't enter value into the number input or The number they enter is valid. Wow. The input type number element makes validation easier by only allowing numbers, some special characters. Remember that all values you get from HTML are actually strings. Okay. Also, if the number input is empty, the value property will be an empty string. So now inside the check user input, we want to use an if statement to check if the value is equal to an empty string. Cool. So if number input value strictly equal to an empty string. Sorry, I'm aware my breathing is just being amplified right now. I probably need to try and put some music in the background. Yeah. I'll try and find some sort of royalty-free music to stick in the background of these, because otherwise it just sounds... Apologies. That should suffice. Let's go. And then you learned about truthy, falsy values, which are values that evaluate to true or false. In JavaScript, some commonly falsy values you see are null, undefined, and the number 0, and empty strings. Cool. So all of these are falsy, which means if you stick in, so if something is null, effectively it's a false value. Not false, but it will evaluate to false. So if you were to use an if null, if not null, what am I saying? Well, they're going to show us. Let me not confuse things because it's stupid. So sorry, I'm so tired. Rather than check if a value is equal to a false value, you can use the logical not operator to check if the value itself is falsy. Oh, okay. So if, so falsy and true. Okay. Cool. And now to do that, I just have to do this. I believe. Yeah. Okay. So if not input, okay. I guess it makes sense. What we're checking for is if not an input value. And not an input value could be 0, could be null. All those are not input values, they're falsy. Okay. Makes sense. Okay, we don't want to allow for decimals or equations because the input type will allow those. Okay, pass int. Okay. Okay, so we are either checking. It's quite interesting. I never knew the OR operator could be used like this. Like we're using it in the if as if it's its own function, if that makes sense, which I think is quite cool. But we are checking, well, we are trying to grab the int version of the number input. So we're going to pass number input into a number input.value into the parse int. So if it's falsy, fine, we can discard that. 0, we can discard that. Or if it's a real value, then we can put it into here and we'll use that. Okay, so if it's a real value, then this will be sort of true. Okay. Next, you need to check if the value returned by the percent is a number or not, because it could do not a number if it's not that. Is none. Okay. Okay. That's cool. So we're piping we're piping number input value into parse int, and then we're going to pipe parse int into is none, which checks if it is not a number. Yeah. Oh. I would have thought I could do this. Am I doing something wrong? What am I doing wrong? I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing wrong here. Let's see. See, what is the value? That's just sticking it in here, no? Oh, what have I done? E9 element. I've gone and done something. Oh, okay. There. Okay, cool. Typo. Random typo. But then, actually, that makes a good point. That's the usefulness of the console. Because I did so when I was trying to find one of these curly brackets, shift 9, I must have clicked 9, and my cursor must have been somewhere up here. I didn't see it, evidently. But in the console, it gives you, so it gave me this this error, which, yeah, gave me this error at the end of the sort of help you get for this one. And that immediately says, oh, there's something wrong here, which if I didn't have the console open, I wouldn't know, and I wouldn't be checking for. So there's the benefit right there, and how the console can help, with figuring things out, with sort of debugging your code, as it were. Okay, so now that we are checking that when we pass the number that we input here and check for an integer value of it, we aren't resulted in not a number, because if we put in something here that we don't want to convert, because we can't convert decimals into binary. We are using the isNaN function to check if that's a result, if it's not a number. So if we do get not a number, we are going to alert the user that they didn't enter a number before we even try to convert it to binary. So in the body, we're going to use the alert method to display the text. Please provide the decimal number. We used alert for our palindrome checker. So we've seen this before. Note that alert is a method on the window object in the browser, so you can use either window alert or alert. Cool. Window.alert or alert. I guess alert will just alert your machine. No. It's the same thing. It all will alert you within the browser window, which is quite cool. Alright, so we're in the if statement. So let's check actually for how to, what the syntax is for the alert method. And actually, as we use this more, I think I'm getting more partial to W3 Schools, honestly, rather than MDN. I like the way it presents the information, but cool. We're going to alert the user to, I'm going to alert, oh see, I did that again. I moved the cursor without meaning to. Gotta be careful. Please provide a decimal number. And actually, I like the idea of window dot alert, because that to me is more descriptive of I'm going to be doing something in the window. Cool. That works. 14. After alerting the user, if the number input is empty or the value is not, you can use a return keyword to break it out of the function. There's a return feature code in this function from cool. So we can just say return. Cool. Building the function, I should do this one. Create a function called decimal to binary with input as a parameter. Cool. I'm going to stick input here as the parameter we pass in. Sweet. I want to point something out here. Shout out. I'm going to guess this is Drea. I might be wrong. But shout out to Drea for the comment. Yeah, we're showing up. Last minute, 11th hour, literally. But anyway, I wanted to make a point because I'm going to wrap up because it's so late. This arrow syntax for functions is something that I was never confident with. And if you remember, in the first few times of doing that, I kept to keep, referring back and checking. But just by virtue of using it over and over again, it's now so easy to me. Like, it probably doesn't come across as well, but whenever it was create a function, like before, if I see anything that says create a function, I start, you have a little panic because it's like, you don't remember fully how to do it. And I've not spent any time sort of intentionally memorizing how to create a function. I've never spent time intentionally memorizing arrow syntax, but we've done it over and over and over so much that it's ingrained. And now I see create a function and immediately I know exactly what I want to do. Further to that, we see create a function and I know there's different ways I can do it. I can say function blah 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 and then do the syntax there, or I could use this syntax and I understand it much better than I did when I got out of the boot camp than I did at the start of this one, simply because we've been using it more. And I think the point I want to raise here is just like literally keep showing up, keep practicing. Like, it's interesting how our bodies work, how our bodies are designed, how God has made us to be able to pick things up just with repetition. Like you look at a kid walking, no one teaches a kid to walk, they figure it out because they keep trying and they keep failing, and that's important in the process. So keep showing up. When you're learning, it might not come immediately, but if you continually practice, you will inevitably get better. So cool. It's late. It's actually Tuesday. So does this count towards showing up today? No, it doesn't. I'm gonna show up again today. But thank you guys for working with. And whenever you guys watch this, whoever watches this later on in life, thank you for watching it. I hope it's helpful. And have a good day. Peace. Let's end the stream.